I'm Aaron Dickens, and straight ahead on WVU News, Governor Jim Justice signed a bill that has many faculty and students on edge. That story coming up.
I'm Kaylee Riccatelli, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you how support for Ukraine hasn't wavered a year after the Russian invasion.
I'm Laura Bonatesta, and if you're an insulin-dependent diabetic, you won't want to miss this next story. I'll tell you how a vial of insulin that once cost $300 a month will soon be affordable. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
A new law in West Virginia will allow students to carry guns on campus. And now, the WVU community is speaking out both in support of and against it. I'm Catherine Brook.
And I'm Maggie Oliverio. It's been 1 year since Russia invaded Ukraine, but here in Morgantown, Ukrainian students and faculty are gathering to support their friends and family 5,000 miles away.
These stories and more coming up on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
West Virginia Governor Jim Justice signed into law the Campus Self-Defense Act.
That's right, Maggie. Our legislative reporter, Aaron Dickens, joins us in the studio to explain. Aaron?
Thanks, Catherine and Maggie. West Virginia is now one of 11 states to strengthen its Second Amendment rights and allow students to carry concealed weapons in some places on campus. Governor Justice signed the bill into law on March 1st and said it sends a clear message. Law-abiding citizens have the right to fight back against any potential school shooter on college campuses in the state. In July of 2024, West Virginia will officially become a state that allows concealed carry on college campuses.
We need to stand rock solid by who we are and by the Second Amendment and all the greatness that we are in this great state, and send the message to the world. By God, if you want to mess with us, we can mess back.
The bill has several exceptions, such as areas on campus with over 1,000 people in it, various resident hall rooms, and faculty offices. But several senators, such as Mike Caputo and several delegates, are still hesitant about the risk it could impose on faculty and students.
It's going to be really hard to police. There is concealed carry, so you kind of on an honor system here if you think about it.
WVU President Gordon Gee issued a statement to all faculty and students to ease tensions. The statement says, quote, "We will create a new campus safety group which will make recommendations relating to our overall campus safety prior to the implementation date," end quote. And considering the recent mass shooting at Michigan State where 3 students died and 5 were injured, many students are stressed out about the bill, while others say it gives them the freedom to fight back against school shooters.
Being a woman on the campus, you're worried when you walk, home alone at night that you might get assaulted. You're worried that you might get kidnapped, and even if that doesn't happen a lot, there's still that chance. But now there's another level of worrying. There's another level of, could this person in my class also have a gun?
As we've seen in other states, from elementary school to even college, there are students shooting the teachers, and teachers need to be able to protect themselves against all threats, both inside the school and out.
The bill will officially take effect on July 1st, 2024. Until then, President Gee said WVU will research best practices in other states where campus carry laws have passed, such as Texas, Colorado, Kansas, and Georgia. Maggie, Catherine, back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. The war in Ukraine has hit the 1-year mark, but estimates of the number of people who have lost their lives in the conflict are difficult to calculate, Catherine.
Maggie, estimates range to tens to hundreds of thousands. And here in Morgantown, Ukraine citizens are remembering the lives lost.
Kaylee Riccatelli joins us from Social Square to tell us more. Kaylee?
Thanks, Maggie. Catherine? On the first anniversary of the Russian invasion in Ukraine, the community gathered on WVU's campus to support Ukraine from the other side of the globe. When Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24, 2022, Christina Pelcher, a WVU student from Ukraine, felt compelled to take action.
When the war started, one of my American friends said that he wants to introduce me to his Ukrainian colleague. And then I met Mark, Ukrainian student. I started crying, and we decided to found Ukrainian Mountaineers Association.
1 year later, the Ukrainian Mountaineers Association organized events to raise awareness of the situation in Ukraine, including a display of 40 photos taken of the war and a rally to show support. Lisa DiBartolomeo, a professor at WVU, says these events are important to keep Ukraine at the forefront of the public's attention.
It's important to keep in mind that anytime you let a tyrant overrun a free and independent country and do nothing about it, that tyrant learns a lesson, and so do other tyrants.
When Russia first invaded, DiBartolomeo and Eric Heron, a political science professor at WVU, started a fund to send to Ukraine. Since then, they have raised over $30,000. In an address to the nation on the anniversary of the Russian invasion, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the past year as one of pain, sorrow, faith, and unity. He then went on to describe Ukraine as invincible. There have been around 22,000 Ukrainian civilian casualties in the war against Russia. But despite these losses, Pelcher says the spirit of her country is not one of surrender.
And we've shown that 1 day is not enough, and 1 year is not enough, because we do not give up. We do not put up our hands and say we want to leave.
And Ukrainian allies here in Morgantown aren't leaving either. A concert held 2 days after the anniversary helped DiBartolomeo and Heron raise almost $3,000 for Ukraine in one weekend. You can contact one of them at the emails below for more information or to contribute to their fund. Catherine and Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Kaylee. Catherine, the high cost of prescription drugs has long been a challenge for Americans. In fact, nationwide, we spent $378 billion on medication in 2021.
And Maggie, insulin is among one of the most expensive of those drugs. The prices have increased by 600% the past 20 years, but these costs will soon be coming down.
Our DataViz reporter Laura Bonatesta joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more. Laura?
Thanks, Maggie. Catherine. 1 in 10 Americans have diabetes, or 34 million people. Of them, more than 8 million depend on insulin to lead normal, everyday lives. For years, the price of the medication has been a huge barrier. But now, a new law is capping the cost of insulin, making it more affordable and easier to access. For Leah Thomas, the thought of insulin never goes away.
I always have to think about it before every meal, when I exercise, whenever I get out of class.
Since being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 18, she's had to establish new habits and continuously learn about her body's changing needs. And like Thomas, 8 million Americans with diabetes depend on insulin to survive. According to the American Diabetes Association, people with type 1 diabetes need on average 2 to 3 vials per month. And for the uninsured and people with poor coverage, a month's worth of insulin costs around $1,000. The crippling price of insulin causes 1 in 4 patients to try to ration or skip doses. And experts say that can be deadly. But now, barriers are finally being broken with the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. The new law caps the price of insulin at $35 per month for seniors on Medicare. And Eli Lilly, one of the United States' only 3 insulin providers, has already matched that price for all of their insulin products. That's a 70% price cut for their millions of customers. Dr. Jennifer Giordano from WVU Medicine hopes these changes will bring relief nationwide.
People should not have to worry about paying their mortgage or paying for food and neglecting their health. So I truly hope that this sets a precedent and that drug companies lower their prices for insulin and other life-saving drugs as well.
For Thomas and the 34 million other Americans with diabetes, this means there's hope. The Inflation Reduction Act went into effect on January 1st, 2023. And if you're a senior on Medicare that's been paying more than $35 per month for your insulin, you may be eligible for a rebate. For low-income, uninsured, or underinsured West Virginia residents, there is a free health clinic in Morgantown that can help you access insulin. To learn more, visit the link at the bottom of your screen. Maggie, Catherine, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Laura. After the break, we'll introduce you to one of the seniors on the men's basketball team who loves WVU so much he's been here twice.
Stay with us.
I'm Sean Loudermilk, and coming up on WVU Sports, one Mountaineer is finishing where he started, both on the court and in the classroom.
Both WVU's men's and women's basketball teams made it to the first round of the NCAA tournament.
That's right, Maggie, and it's the seniors that helped them get them there. Our sports reporter, Sean Loudermilk, is here to tell us about one in particular. Sean?
Thanks, Catherine. Maggie. Before hitting the road to compete in the NCAA tournament, the WVU men's basketball team honored their seniors in front of a sold-out crowd at the Coliseum, including one player who has both started and finished his career here in Morgantown. Emmett Matthews Jr. started his college career with the Mountaineers, but in spring of 2021 transferred for his fourth year of eligibility. But like they say, country roads always brings you home. After transferring to the University of Washington for the 2021 to 2022 season, Emmett Matthews Jr. came back to the Gold and the Blue to finish out his final year of eligibility with Coach Huggins and the Mountaineers.
I came back here to win games. I didn't come back here to average 20 points. I didn't come back here to score a bunch of buckets. I came back here to try to do something special with this team, and obviously we've been off to a slow start in Big 12, and right now we're trying to correct it all. Matthews has been a critical part of the Mountaineers squad since his arrival in 2018, playing every game of his sophomore season and helping WVU secure a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament his junior year. Emmett made his 99th career start for the Mountaineers on senior night against Kansas State. During his time in Morgantown, Matthews has averaged 7.3 points per game, shooting 42% from the field, and even had a career-high 20-point game this season against Iowa State.
He gives us great length to defend. I think that's one of the really big advantages that he gives us is his length. But he's a good rebounder. He can shoot it as you saw today. He makes free throws. He does a lot of things for us.
Matthews graduated in December of 2022 with a bachelor's degree in sports management. And though his time in the Gold and the Blue may be coming to an end, he'll always be a Mountaineer. Matthews and the Mountaineers unfortunately fell in the first round of the NCAA tournament to the Maryland Terrapins, ending their season. The WVU women's team also fell in the first round to the Arizona Wildcats. Maggie, Catherine, back to you.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. I'm Maggie Oliverio.
And I'm Catherine Baruch. You can visit us online on our website, or you can also watch our shows on YouTube.
And please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.